doing? Having a good NatCon out there? Awesome. Well, it's great to meet you guys. My name is Maddie Ngo, or Maddie Ngo for short. And I just wanted to start by saying thank you to the Alliance because they have provided me with such an opportunity. And it's not just for me. It's for you guys too. So I just want to say thank you to the Alliance for providing us with this incredible opportunity. I'm going to be talking about cooking up some premium today. But just want to say thank you to Andy and Jane Albright for creating this insane roller coaster that we're all on the ride. And I also just wanted to say, like, honest to God, Sarah Seifert, you are the most incredible mentor. So thank you for just showing me the way. Now, we're going to cook up some premium, like I said. I don't know if you guys grew up watching cartoons or Disney or anything like that, but I did not. My mom liked to watch HGTV and Food Network, so that's why I really want a big house. And I also really love food. But she didn't grow up cooking. I actually ate frozen dinners all the time growing up, canned food and like ramen noodles, so that was primarily my diet. And as I got older, watching Food Network, I realized, hey, there's other foods out here we can eat besides ramen noodles. So I thought, okay, well, we would go to the grocery store together, and I would ask her, hey, can you buy me this ingredient, or can you buy me this ingredient so I can try and make something out of it? And the first couple meals I made were bad, okay? Like straight to the garbage, back to the ramen noodles I go. They were not good. So just to say that throughout your career here or anywhere else, whether this is just a stepping stone for you or if this is a lifelong thing, you're gonna have meals that you throw in the trash, and that's okay. So as we get in here, you're gonna see some of us are familiar with the DoorDash, right? Now, we also know that there's nicer food out there. And what I do have to say is whenever you're kind of creating food, you have to follow a recipe, right? So Andy has laid out multiple recipes for us to follow, but the most recent one is the Relentless 52. And he talks about recruiting with the Relentless 52, but what I realized is it's really just step by step doing activity. That's all he's trying to show us. So with Relentless 52, he's basically giving us the flour and the eggs. He's telling us we need to go out weekly and meet people, talk to them, drum up conversation, get out of our own shell. And that's kind of what cooking is, right? You have to worry about presentation, right? One of the biggest things is presentation, and it matters. If you walk into a really nice fancy steakhouse and they put Kraft mac and cheese on your table, who's getting up? Who's paying for it? I wouldn't be paying for it. Not at this point. Maybe when I was in middle school and that was all I knew, that was fancy to me, right? So as your standards rise, you're also going to notice, okay, now my presentation has to rise with it as well. So when you speak, you want to stand up straight. You want to look at the audience in the eye. You want to make sure you're actually here to present to the people. Hopefully somebody walks away with something that's actually going to be beneficial to them, but it's not luck, right? This all goes into preparation. We have to practice our presentation, practice our script, make the dials, right, Jake? I mean, that's something that I struggled with a lot. So you have to actually make the dials, whether it be for recruiting or for selling, right? It's not something that happens overnight. Premium quality that you get out of any of these types of situations take time. If you put a cheesecake in the oven, I don't know if has anyone cooked cheesecake before? Okay, so you guys know. It is one of the most awful things to cook because the product is great, but you cook cheesecake, you put it in the oven, you've got to wait like an hour, and then you have to turn the oven off and just let it sit there as you can see it. You can't open the oven. You have to wait until it's completely cooled. And then after it's cool, you put it in the fridge to cool down even more, right? So it's a really long process to get the result of something that we find so normal to see at a regular restaurant. Now, we can agree that that does not come from luck. I don't know if you've ever had a bad cheesecake, but it's not worth it. You've had a bad cheesecake, Noelle? Yeah, me too. I actually don't buy cheesecake anywhere because nothing makes it like home. Now, preparation is such a big thing. When it comes down to preparation, chefs do not change the recipe every night. If you go to your favorite Italian restaurant and they have a penne alla vodka, they're not recreating that recipe every single day, right? They're actually sharpening their skills each day. They're actually sharpening their knives. They're also making sure all the ingredients are fresh. We don't want to serve rotten food. That's gross, right? And they're also making sure that all of the processes they've put in place are being followed. So the same thing with Relentless 52 when it comes down to the recipe that Andy has set up for us. We just need to have weekly activity. We need to stay consistent, and we can't skip the steps. If we put no vodka in Peniala vodka, it's not Peniala vodka, right? We can't skip the tomatoes in tomato sauce. What do you have in that scenario? Not what you came for, right? So we have to be a little bit more intentional about what we're actually putting in there. Right. Facts. And I was telling James and Pamela, actually, I'm going to go back to that other slide. So this is some of my favorite restaurants. Going back to presentation real quick, that restaurant over there is called Jing. They just opened a brand new location in Scottsdale, Arizona. So I was telling James and Pamela about it because they live like 15 minutes from there. And they were asking about the restaurant and what they had. And I felt like I worked there because I was telling them everything on the menu, you know, the chef's name, the experience. And I wouldn't know any of those things if it didn't impact my life in some way. So we have the chance to make a difference when we talk to one person about the opportunity, or if we talk to one client about what this can do for their family, we have the chance to impact someone's life. And we could either be a negative impact and they could have a bad experience and 1 star and I'm writing that review, you know, or we could have a positive impact on somebody's life. Actually take the time to care about people and spend that time going back into our craft, right? So if we spend that time preparing, we're gonna have better conversations for our clients. We're gonna have better agents in our organization. And that's also gonna come back tenfold, but none of that happens without the preparation stage. So those bell peppers that he's cutting, I mean, he's doing that all day, every day. It's mundane, it's boring. Nobody wants to do the type of mundane tasks, but without those tasks, you're not gonna get a quality result. And premium result is what sells. The same steak on a plate at Outback could be at a plate at a Ruth's Chris, but why is it 3 times the cost? Maybe it's because the plate's hot, Noel. Maybe it's because they've got really nice butter. Maybe it's because the service is a lot better there. They bring it to you while it's still hot. I mean, there's something to say about that, right? Alrighty. And then also, I just wanted to compare Michelin and microwave effort. You'll hear people talk about microwave mentality a lot in this business because people want it fast. I am no exception to that. I think we all want it fast, right? Realistically, it just doesn't work that way. We talked about the cheesecake example. You have to wait the time. But not only are you waiting the time, but we had to create the cheesecake. If we didn't put the eggs and the cream cheese and the sour cream together and mix it and watch it mix and mix and mix and watch the mundane, right? And then put it in the oven, we would have never came out with the result. So we do need to take the time to put in the preparation, to do the dials, to work with people, to grow ourselves. Reading is such a big thing that I hated to do before coming to the Alliance. But I have never been influenced in a positive direction in any workplace I've ever been in. I don't know if any of you guys have ever worked in the service industry. No? Okay, yeah, awesome. So you know the mentality of the people in the service industry is not always the best. Basically every single day, at least when I used to work at Starbucks, that was kind of like my college job. We would come in and I would be that 4:30 shift, so I'd have to get there at 4 in the morning. We'd start brewing coffee. And then the first person to come in at 5:30 would just be like, oh, I freaking hate this. I want to kill myself. I'm like, it is 5 a.m. Can we not do that? Because the energy is so negative, right? So how are you supposed to build people up and being a light in someone's tunnel? I mean, Sarah's a great example of that, right? So no matter if I'm having the best day or the worst day, Sarah's able to still pull me out of the gutter, right? And you just want to be that for somebody else. You don't want to be that Starbucks employee that I used to work with because I didn't want to work there very long because of that. Still stayed there 5 years, crazy enough, because sometimes it's not bad enough to leave, right? You know, girl, At least the benefits were good, right? Free coffee. And one of the other things I wanted to say is don't cook for everybody, okay? It's not your job to do everything for everybody, whether that be your downline or whether that be your clients. Empower them. You can show them the way without actually having to, oh, I thought I was going to play the video. There's smoke there, so there is, oh, it was? Okay. Got you. But don't cook for everybody. You want to be protective with your energy. It's one of the things where if you only have so much to give, you don't want to give all of it away to the wrong person, right? I think of this example that I used to see when it comes to people talking about relationships, right? If I am a jug a milk gallon jug, and I have that much love inside of me, and I'm trying to pour into a cup, this person's gonna feel overwhelmed, right? They're not gonna feel like loved in the way that I want to love them. They're just gonna take it and just pour the rest out because they don't need that. So if you find somebody that's also a jug, whether it be in this business or maybe in your personal life, and you're able to pour your jug into them, then they're gonna feel fulfilled. But let's switch the roles, right? If you're a jug and someone else is a cup, and they're trying to pour their cup into your jug, you're never gonna be satisfied. So we have to realize there are different people out there and how to accommodate the different cups and jugs that there are in this world so that we're able to build people up, whether they're a cup or a jug. Some people you might only have to give a little bit of energy to and they run, right? Some people you might have to pour and refill yourself and pour, right? To build them up for them to be able to do this business or anything else in life. So just don't cook for everybody. Now, Andy has given us a lot of recipes. He recommends a lot of books, and I think all of those books on page 86 in the 8 steps are amazing, but Relentless 52 is the recipe right now. It really shows us the steps, but we have to go credit to the 8 steps of success. Now, we went over the 8 steps yesterday in the new agent meeting, if any of you guys were in there, and I love what Robbie Kraft said about it. He basically said, we're trying to go from here to here. We're not trying to go from here to get here. We're just trying to move the needle a little bit, right? And that really resonated with me because when you start out in this business and you get really excited and you have a lot of success or a lot of pitfalls, right? It's going to take you on this journey, and that's not gonna provide consistent results. You're gonna go really high and really low. So Robbie said, just go, The day is great, The day is bad, This morning I couldn't get gas, This morning my windshield was frozen, But I'm here, right? You just gotta be thankful for what you've got. We're just trying to move from here to here. But the same thing when it comes to your business, when it comes to sales, right? We're just trying to make the dials. The dial is the production, right? We're trying to measure our inputs and not our outputs. Measuring our outputs is what's gonna keep us going on this roller coaster ride. If we focus on the inputs, then we're gonna be able to actually be successful and be consistent in the business. Thank you. It was really short, but thank you guys.